Binny Gill. You hold both a bachelor's and a master's in computer science. You deeply understand how to code. You deeply understand the technology industry, but you're running a company where you're trying to make it so no one else has to write code. Can you tell me about Kognitos and what you guys are doing and the solution that you're building?
Thank you, Matthew, for having me.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to talk to folks who want to understand something about tech and something about business at the same time. I've been a programmer since I was 12. I started with the basic programming language in Pascal and others. I don't know, maybe more than a dozen different languages I've spent time coding in. But all my life I've always wondered, can't I just program in natural language? Mm-hmm. Now my teachers did teach me pseudocode, where you write down logically what you would like to implement. Mm-hmm. And then there's the hard part of converting that into something programming. And I think now we are living in a world where you can just possibly use natural language for programming. 5 years ago when I started this company, Kognitos, it was still built before LLMs were popular or anything.
Before everyone had heard about ChatGPT.
Yeah, and ChatGPT wasn't even there at that time. And I had, this was COVID, and I had a lot of time to myself.
Yeah,
and
a lot of time.
A lot of time. And there was a moment my 12-year-old son was learning to program Python, and he was struggling to do something, not struggling more than what anybody would have. Even I struggled the same, but that was the point. 30 years ago, I was doing the same thing, making a tic-tac-toe game, mm-hmm. and I did it in a couple of days. My son also took a couple of days, and I was thinking, so 30 years, nothing has improved.
Yeah. Like why did it still take a couple of days, even though everything has
Like if I ask somebody who has never programmed and say, go make a tic-tac-toe game, I mean, 2 days is pretty impressive until vibe coding and ChatGPT is not. So 5 years ago, I was thinking, no, something is wrong. Mm-hmm. It has to be changed. So I asked him to write pseudocode, which is just explain in plain English, logically, how would it be? Mm-hmm. That was 5-10 minutes. So, okay, I need to build something that will make it work. Mm-hmm. Now, there are two ways of taking English and running with it. So one is what I call like a neural network, which is what LLMs are today, which is you give it a goal and it'll figure out creatively how to reach the goal, right? Then there is another way of doing it, which is a neurosymbolic approach, which is what Kognitos is all about, which I started doing, is you treat English as if it was a programming language, with all the guarantees that programming languages provide, like it is deterministic, it does what it says, it does not have biases, and it cannot hallucinate. Mm-hmm. So if you have watched the old Star Trek series, there was a character called Spock. He was a Vulcan. And Captain Kirk was running the Enterprise, and Spock was the guy who had always had a level-headed, logical explanation for everything. Mm-hmm. We are building Spock for the Enterprise, whereas Captain Kirk is the human in the Enterprise, and they are allowed to be emotional, allowed to be biased. Humans may even hallucinate, but AI must not. Mm-hmm. So that's the distinction. So when I was talking to investors who have also invested in OpenAI about where will AI go, I think there will be two kinds of applications of AI. First application is when AI is being creative for you because you need it to be creative. Mm-hmm. Fine, I mean, and we are seeing that all along.
Yeah.
The other one is where AI is being diligent. It's not trying to be creative.
It's strictly following the instructions.
Strictly following instructions, and that's what we have been focused on. And if you build it in a core, distinct way, then you have a better outcome. And that's the same thing. Spock is a Vulcan, is different brain, different thought process than a regular human. AI today is mimicking humans with the same fallacies that humans have. Mm-hmm. Whereas programming languages have never hallucinated, and in Kognitos' world, English does not hallucinate, and that's the thing we are excited about.
So I think there's something we could touch on with hallucinations. I feel like a lot of people, and I've experienced this too, where we'll just use ChatGPT, which is It's cool, it's advanced, but it's not the most advanced application of AI. There's been times where I have, like a couple weeks ago, I needed to jump a car, and I asked where's the positive terminal to connect to under the hood, rather than just connecting to the battery. And I asked, is it on the driver's side or passenger side? And it did tell me the wrong side. Mm-hmm. So with those, I would call that like a hallucination. Like it made that up. It is not that. It was not accurate. It was either this or that, and it chose the wrong option there. So you're saying with Kognitos, it won't have that option to hallucinate and go against what is known what should be known.
It'll say it does not know, instead of just pushing you in the wrong direction. So the kind of AI we have is not trying to please you. Mm-hmm. It's trying to do what is right for the business. Mm-hmm. And that's the fundamental thing. So neurosymbolic engine, just like computers were built long ago because humans made mistakes. Right, when we do math errors, these are mini hallucinations. Mm-hmm. 7 times 8, somebody says something wrong, that's a hallucination. If you think about it, there's no bad intention. That's what we wanted to avoid. We built computers, and now businesses don't want to give up that power of computers. And you give me wrong answers once in a while. Like if I have a finance department, and if I ask the same question 10 times, I want the same answer. Mm-hmm. I don't want 10 different answers from my finance department or my legal department. Business doesn't work that way. So if you think, just zoom out, any set of people working towards a common cause, we say people gather and then you come up with process. There is a process. Like you have a process for running a podcast. Mm-hmm. Any business has a process for hiring employees, onboarding partners, paying invoices, everything, right?
Right.
Money moving from one place to the other, there is a process. Government has process around taxation. So businesses control outcome through process, and now they hire employees that come and go. Mm-hmm. Now, if they want to improve the outcome, they don't improve employees, they improve process. Like even if McDonald's wants to improve the taste of fries, it doesn't go hire better cooks. It just changes process. And process is the steering wheel for all business.
Yeah.
And fundamentally what is needed is AI that follows process diligently like humans do. Mm-hmm. Now there is other aspect of coming up with process. That's the creative aspect.
Yeah.
So yes, you do use the creative AI for coming up with process, or when you hit a problem with a given process, now you have to come up with a creative solution. Mm-hmm. We believe that creative aspects have to be human-led. So human is there, AI is coming up with 5 ideas, and human says, I don't like that, that's bad, this is not according to our cultural values or the company's policies, mm-hmm. go do that one. And AI says, should I write it down in my process book? And you say yes, now it again becomes process and is revised. Mm-hmm. So that's the Kognitos platform, and the mindset therefore is different.
Yeah. But I think touching on processes, that's a great segue into what I want to talk about next, because we're here at InsureTech Vegas.
Yeah.
However, Kognitos is not only for insurance companies. It's one of the use cases. But since we are here, talking about insurance, meeting with insurance carriers and all the other solutions providers, what's a use case for Kognitos within the insurance landscape?
Yeah, so as you said, right, every business has process, every department in a business has process, mm-hmm. right? So we look at the process-heavy, mission-critical aspects of businesses. Insurance is a classic example. It's all about process. Somebody files a claim, you have to go through that and see whether you're going to do that. And mm-hmm. the claim rules are 20-page, 30-page, and a human is following that diligently. You don't want biases to come into the picture. You don't want hallucinations. A classic example of where Kognitos can help. You need a neurosymbolic engine that looks at it as if it was Spock. Right, no emotion, I just want to do this for the business, mm-hmm. and do it day in and day out, same answer every time for the same input. So that's, if you have to figure out for underwriting, go through the past and gather all the information that you need in order to help AI make a better decision. Now, doing all of that, data gathering, all that's pretty deterministic, mm-hmm. and you don't want to miss out on something. And that's where, so it's a it's a kind of programming, a new kind of programming that is coming up, where you are essentially writing the rules in English, which is, by the way, when we talk to customers, it's like, how were you running the company last 10 years, 20 years with humans? That should be the same way you run your company even with AI, because guess what? AI is equal to humans. That's what ChatGPT will tell you. So then you shouldn't change anything. You just bring in AI, and all you need is a different kind of AI that follows your current process just like humans. With one more thing, and this is the advantage. AI needs to document everything that it is doing or going to do. And so your company becomes a collection of documented processes, no tribal knowledge. And the benefit there is, today what happens is when employees leave, there's a problem. You have to do a knowledge transfer. Humans transfer knowledge from one brain to the other very, very slow.
Yeah.
AI is super fast, a million times faster. So with Kognitos, you have a platform where it's becoming your system of record for process and also for exception handling, how you do that. Everything is documented in a way that now you can take that, give it to another AI or give it to another human, and it makes sense.
And can you tell me about the inception of the idea for Kognitos? So you started the company 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was with your son. And then did you immediately think this business idea, or what was that process
No,
like?
so I just wanted to make the game, right? So let's make a game in English. And when it started happening, my son was like, okay, can I do more complex stuff? And it was hard. It took about 8 months for me to come up with something that I was convinced that will start working. There were many...
And you were building the platform on your own?
Yes, I was. This was COVID. I couldn't even shake hands with anybody. In fact, I raised money for this idea without meeting anybody in person. Right? That was fun, right? But the investor said, Binny, I have goosebumps when I'm seeing this. There must be something good. And this is over a Zoom. It was so magical when you would see that English would just work, right? But more interesting for me, and this was the realization, was it's not sufficient that it works sometimes. What is important is, what do you do when it does not work or it's doing something wrong? That's the core problem, even with humans. Like, you don't want an employee that 95% of the times does great and 5% completely screws it up.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the edge cases where I realized that humans are so much better. And then I was thinking about software, computer science in general. We have gotten it wrong. And I'm trying to unlearn all of computer science right now and tell you what is wrong. If you look at grandma's recipe for apple pie, all right? 10 lines, maybe written 50 years ago. 0 bugs. No fixes. Okay, when was a software ever written that for 50 years would just work and nobody files a bug and it does not bloat in size? Software always bloats in size. I've been in software so long. There was no product we built where the number of lines of code never increased. Like, it stopped increasing.
Has that ever happened?
Never happened. I was thinking, why does it increase? Is it the language? Like Python or Java or C as a language is the problem? Answer is no. It's not the language that causes the bloat. The problem is the operating system where the program runs does not have common sense. Meaning, if I write an automation and now it hits a common problem, I cannot connect, VPN is down, or my database is not responding, password has changed. In software, you have to write that code, extra code, to handle that case within the software, and that's why it bloats. Oracle today has more than 25 million lines of code and still growing.
Yeah.
Because they're essentially building all the common sense that a human would have done into that one program. And that happens with every program ever written. And that's why software is crazy. It's not the language alone. So the apple pie recipe remains simple because the cook has common sense. If I run out of salt, I know how to get salt from the grocery store and come back and resume. That's what we built in Kognitos, and that's a patented exception handling workflow that we have, where your program will remain simple because the operating system is cognitive. That's why it's called Kognitos, right? The platform is cognitive. It says, okay, hold on, let me go fix the problem. We'll talk to our troubleshooting guide, which is an internal AI agent, and if that does not know, then I'll talk to the human. If the human doesn't know, talk to the manager and say, like, dude, what do you want me to do? I have this unique case, never seen this before. And the human might say, do this. And the system says, should I write it down as a troubleshooting guide, addendum? And human might say yes, and next time it is better, right? And
so it's training on its own processes.
It's training on its process, but everything is documented, and the core process always remains simple. One of the things that folks both on the AI side and on the programming side don't understand is that you have to keep the happy path separated from the unhappy. Don't mix
those
the
5% edge cases.
Don't mix, because that 5% is actually a long, long infinite tail. If I ask you, go get me coffee, there are a million ways things can go wrong while you're going to get coffee. There could be a lightning bolt, there could be an earthquake, right? Anything could happen. And you should not mix the two. When I was in an airplane this morning, the pilot gets a simple sheet. From here, you fly from here to there. But the number of ways that could go wrong is in a very thick troubleshooting book that the airplane has. And nobody mixes the two. If I had mixed the two into one program that I give to the pilot, it's unmaintainable. And that's the challenge with traditional automation software, like the RPAs of the world. But that's also the challenge with the next generation AI models, which say, I'm going to learn into one box, both the good thing and the bad thing. And now it's such a giant mess where, and now we talk about it as hallucinating. It's not hallucinating. It just saw that somewhere and it's telling it to you. But you're saying, no, it was wrong, it's on the other side. So the separating the two is the core thing that we've been doing, and our customers like the fact that automations work deterministically, and after a year, after 2 years, it's still recognizable. This is the same recipe. It's not now 2,000 lines, or it's not AI black box that has learnt and created habits out of things that now I don't know how to make it unlearn. I got a new CEO, I want to change things different. Now, it's very hard.
The core process is still the same. It's
core
just
process
edge
is the
cases
same.
that it's refining and building on. So with all the customer data you're taking in, all the processes that Kognitos is learning for your customers, how do you approach data security and maintaining data privacy of your customers?
So today with AI, that's primarily the most important thing is what happens to your data, and is somebody else getting benefit out of your data, right? So we do not train anything that helps somebody else other than the customer themselves. And also the training is done in a way where all the information about how to do things based on the past is in the form of documentation. Everything is English, so it's transparent training. It's not like my AI will now have more different weights, and now nobody understands, but somehow magically it'll do the right thing for you, because that's, you don't even trust. So what we are saying is everything about your process is documented. Everything that we have learned about the edge case is also documented, and that is sort of no longer tribal knowledge. We are collecting tribal knowledge and documenting it for you. AI is really good at documenting and making sure documentation is up to date. This is something humans hate, but AI does it really well. But that is solely that customer's property. We are not training models. It's just documentation that the customer owns. And that makes our customers feel safe. Also, there are customers we have who want it in their own cloud, so our solution can be deployed within their cloud as well. Some customers have their own LLMs, so we can use their own LLMs as well. And the public LLMs that we use have HIPAA certification and SOC 2 and others, so they give guarantees that they're not going to train on customer data. So this is really important.
So from From a business operations standpoint, do you find it difficult that some of these customers may have varying needs and requests, where some will say, well, hey, use our internal model, or some will say, oh, no, we'd like to use whatever model you're using. With that added complexity, how do you still continue to serve these customers with different needs? Is it more resource heavy to implement, like, oh, we'll use your internal model? Or describe that process for me.
Yeah. See, we thrive, Kognitos thrives where there is complexity. So the simple stuff, I mean, you can do it with ChatGPT. I mean, I think you should do it. But when you look at the core processes that a business has, where there's really value to it, anytime there is value, people have a lot of complexity there, because that's so important for the business. Even the smallest tweak matters.
Yeah.
And therefore it's complex. And in that case is where you don't want to just throw in an AI and make it guess. You want something that works according to exactly the precise nuance you were talking about. So we thrive there. Now, how? Because it's as simple as explaining in English what you want. Sometimes customers already have it documented. Sometimes they don't have it documented, and we help discover. We have a bunch of AI tools that help them discover. You can go through Zoom recordings, Fathom recordings, generate the documentation, the project specification, like this is what you might be talking about.
Yeah, this is the way you have done it.
And
confirm that this is accurate.
Confirm this, right? And if not, tell us that. So we have built a bunch of tools to help our customers. And then also when it's automated, it's refining and updating documentation that's going on, right? So yeah, it's a perfect place for us to be if it's complex and messy.
So from my understanding, the workflows that Kognitos works best for, simple, it can definitely do. Some of the simple ones, ChatGPT could also do. But then as you add complexity, at what point is Kognitos maybe not the answer? Is it for tasks that, well, they only happen maybe once a week or once a month, so it's not that repetitive, maybe the process is a little different each time? At what point is the complexity too large for Kognitos?
No, I think it's not the scale part. This is a programming paradigm we have built. So it doesn't have a context window limit. Because just like Python never has a limit, right?
Yeah.
So we have built an interpreter ground up for natural language, and you can keep on running it forever. So that doesn't have a limit. So where we apply ourselves right now is the domains where we have experience and we can deliver. We have all the integration. So that's around finance and accounting, insurance, areas where money is involved in a business. What we don't do is marketing stuff, right? And what we don't do is, ad hoc, phone call answering, chat bots, those things we don't do. Not because we cannot do it, but that has not been our focus.
Yeah.
Right?
And since we are here at InsureTech, is the insurance landscape your primary customer? Is fintech or finance your primary customer?
Yeah, our main primary focus has been around finance and accounting, and insurance is one of the bigger areas where we have had the success in.
And can you tell me why that is?
It's very process heavy.
Yeah.
When you have money going through any system, it could be our ERP, CRMs, triggered through email, document heavy. And that's where, so our IDP capabilities are better than anything else out there. I mean, if you go look at, try to do it on ChatGPT or Gemini and all of that, they are trying to solve sort of the consumer problems. The enterprise problems are quite different. It's not, enterprise is not asking for your best guess. They're asking for, tell me if you're sure. If not, please ask me.
It has to be right.
It has to be right. I'm not looking. So we have done a lot of work there where if documents are involved, important email processing has to be done. You have to update SAP, you have to update Oracle, you have to update NetSuite, CRMs like Salesforce, Microsoft ecosystem. That's where we are applicable.
Perfect. And what's next on the roadmap for Kognitos? Do you guys have any big product releases that you could mention, or new upgrades to the platform that you could speak to?
So we're just close to announcing our browser use automation capability. So imagine what RPA used to do, and they've spent more than a decade trying to perfect the art of clicking on a screen.
Yeah.
now with the next generation AI, and our team has built an AI model extension that does it far better than anything else. So you can click on any screens and get it done. Not because I believe that's the future, that isn't. That's a transitionary phase. AI loves API more than it loves the screen. So, but you do need the screen for legacy compatibility. So that's going to come out. And then there are other things that are super exciting that I can't talk about, but I'll give you an idea as to, we are just going to hyper accelerate the transition that customers can do with AI. I'll leave you with this idea there, like, what is the core problem with AI? The core problem with AI is going to be understanding what to tell it to do. Imagine there's the smartest person shows up in your office and saying, and it's like the Matrix guy, there's one person, but if you click on him, there's 100 of them, right? And say, give me work. Matt, give me work. So what work will you give that person? You have to be able to say, okay, here I have written it down, go do it, right? So the job is still a challenging job for the human to figure out how to give it work. I was talking to one customer here in the insurance space. They're like, why does the AI not do what I want it to do? A human would have done it. I said, look, a human would have done it because you've interviewed the human. You know where the human went to school, what MBA they got, and you know all the books that they have read. And you've also disqualified 10 other humans that you didn't think were right for the job. Have you interviewed AI? And what does it mean? We are not giving people any choice. The same ChatGPT model has to service all customers, all companies, but every company interviews differently. They like different kind of people who think differently, right? So then it's the human's responsibility to now prompt rather than just select through interview process. Now they have to prompt and make it what you want. That's a massive task. So they were complaining like, why does my AI not do it? I said, it's not been built yet. Instead, what you need, the way you prompt AI is to look at your current humans and say, start using a platform like Kognitos, and first we'll capture the happy path, what you do, and then we'll keep on capturing in documentation, not in an opaque model, all the other things that define you as a business. Now your tribal knowledge is documented. This is your business journal. That is
all
what...
the things that don't make it into an SOP, but everyone knows.
But everything, once you have done that, you know what, you have prepared for the future of AGI. Because now when the AI shows up, you say, you know what, read this documentation, this is who we are. And now you'll be off to the races versus then figuring out. So that's, with AI, the fundamental piece to solve is documenting who you are and what you want to be done, period, right? It's a hard thing. It's like for a country, it's the constitution. What you want to be done, and people need to agree. So we are doing some core research there to solve that problem. But I won't tell you more.
You can't tell me what it is. All right. Well, still, I think that's very interesting to think about, because I mean, it's so true, right? Like, it does take so long to get the right prompt because it doesn't have the context yet, and you don't even understand what knowledge it has yet. So I'm curious to see what comes out there. So if people want to get in contact with you, or if they want to learn more about Kognitos, how can they do that?
Go to kognitos.com, Kognitos. Remember, it's an OS for cognition with a K, kognitos.com. And if you want to email me, it's Binny, BINNY @kognitos.com.
Perfect. Well, Binny, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.